Ready?
I mean, we're
good.
going.
Yeah, let's roll.
So I don't think I need to introduce myself, but I will.
Yeah.
Because I don't look like my handsome, debonair, cavalier.
You may not recognize me without the suit on.
Me, I'm the host of the Cold River Radio Show, and we're here in the living room of the Wildcat Inn and Tavern, one of our longtime sponsors and partners, and they're awesome. And they shacked us up last night, took good care of us, and this particular podcast is brought to you by J-Town Deli. There is a such thing as a free lunch podcast, and it's J-Town Deli gave us these awesome breakfast sandwiches with their homemade sausage. My son loves them. They're fantastic. And here we are. We just had a really good breakfast. Thank you, J-Town Deli. And now I'm sitting here with Tyler James Kelly and the guy in the back.
My attorney.
Yeah, his attorney. And we're just going to talk about whatever Thomas wants to talk about.
It's on me?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
No, I mean, I'll think of something. I just figured I'd pass the buck.
So who are you?
Who am I?
Who are
My name's Tyler James. I'm a singer-songwriter, guitar player, occasionally a producer, which I'd like more people to know about. That's super fun. And sometimes I'm a mechanic. Sometimes I build a deck.
What is that truck you got?
I got a '69 F100.
Nice looking rig.
Pretty lucky to have that one. When I was younger, my Nana used to have, I don't know if you've seen Avon perfume castings and such and colognes, but in the 70s they made castings out of anything like guns and trucks, cars.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But there's perfume and cologne in it. Anyway, I had two F100s that I still have. And I used to just play with them on the rug and crash them together, right? If you take the bed off of the casting, that's where the cologne is. You unscrew it and do your deal. I still have both of them.
Is there cologne in them still?
There is.
Wow.
Yeah. Rare occasions I throw that musk on,
Yeah.
But
I think
really cool to have that, become a reality, to actually have that truck is really cool. I love that truck so much.
What condition did you get it in?
So it needed its top end rebuilt. So new heads, new intake manifold, which you want to probably do anyway, because the original cast iron is like 500 pounds. So the aluminum, you're putting super lightweight on the top. So
the body was in good shape.
Body's in pretty good shape. Yeah. I mean, there's some rust, but I like trucks. I like real trucks, I should say.
Can't be too clean.
Yeah, I'm not down with the don't scratch my bed kind of thing. It's a work truck, man. It's a work truck.
Awesome.
But yeah, my lady has a '65 Mustang. So
I think I saw some pictures of that in the garage.
Yeah, she set a goal a long time ago. Like, if she ever reaches this much business and such, she'll be purchasing her dream car. And it's been cool. I did a lot of work on that to get it running perfect for her. So that was fun.
So tell us about music production.
Music production. I'd love to, people don't know, I really, not to pat my own back, but I fancy myself a decent arranger of music. I can usually see the finish line pretty fast. If I get what you're looking for in a song, I can see it from the intro to the outro, like that, as far as arrangement goes. And I like to help people with that, if they're willing, and looking for that kind of work, trim. Sometimes it's like, maybe you don't need this part in the song, it's kind of meandering and going too long, or maybe we need that vice versa. Maybe we need to have a little bit more of a break from the vocal.
I should give like a little more background. Tyler's got a band called the Silks out of Providence, Rhode Island. Fantastic band. They were just on the show last night, and it was bombastic, awesome performance. And this is the second time he's been up here on the show. And,
thanks to you.
Oh, hey, man. It's awesome to have you. I want to do something else in the air, like a show here at the Wildcat on the garden stage. That would be awesome. Yeah. But you can check them out. I think it's just thesilks.com, right?
Yeah.
Or the Silks Music.
Silksmusic.com. Yeah.
Right. So it's definitely, get plugged in and check that out. And Tyler's out there on Facebook land too, occasionally posting some really flossy, awesome videos. I mean, you get up and practice, it looks like you get up and practice every morning.
Yeah, I could play like 13 hours if somebody let me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's not a lot of people with that kind
where
of
the time went.
Discipline or passion. I mean, it's awesome, man.
Yeah, I can't explain that part. You just it's just something that you do. It's not like I don't try to force myself to practice. It's just something that, well, there it is in my hands again,
Yeah, and it comes through. I mean, when you perform, you don't look like you're trying at all, man. It just
I appreciate that.
Natural, yeah.
That's the that's the autopilot. Trying not to, even if you make mistakes, you learn how to clean them up.
Right.
It's usually one fret away, right?
Yeah, exactly. One fret away from the right note. Yeah. Just keep going.
Or just do it twice, right? Like Miles says.
Do it again.
Yeah, do it again. Now it's jazz.
Mike was saying that, Mike Sakash, in the Cold River Radio Band, he's a saxophonist for the band.
Yes.
He was saying, and a brilliant musician himself.
Unbelievable.
But he was saying that he thought you had like a beat bop thing going, and that a lot of the phrasings and style of what you were doing worked really well against, like, you guys did a call and repeat thing at one point, and he was saying that he was amazed that he's like, it's like jazz, but the guys, he was fascinated by the way you play. Let me just put it that
cool.
way.
That's cool. That means a lot.
Yeah.
From any of those guys. I mean,
they're all pretty monstrously talented.
Yeah, top of the crop.
Yeah, that's a great band too. But yeah, Mike he's like enamored with you. Just so you know.
Yeah, I don't know what he's hearing, but I don't know any bebop,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. So I'd love to have him
explain
pick up that conversation and explain to you what he's saying, because I'm not doing a very good
bebop,
job.
But to play it, oh my.
I think you've definitely got the swing though. Like when you're ripping with the blues solo, like you're swinging.
Yeah, you want to swing for sure. You do want to swing. I mean, I always loved, I'm a big Merle Haggard fan. And I always loved that he kind of sought after his guitar players that were more jazzy, outside thinkers, if you will. And Clint Strong comes to mind, one of his players. And he's just a jazz player playing country songs. But the lines are just melting, So I still can't play some of them, and it's only one bar. What he's playing is so, I like how Sonny says it, involved.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a beautiful way to say that. Like, it's very involved what he's doing. Very colorful stuff. I always loved that juxtaposition, that rub of jazz line over a country song,
Oh, that reminds me of something you mentioned last night, that Merle played bass with Buck Owens. I didn't realize that. Yeah,
for
which
a little
explains
while.
A lot for
before he stole his wife. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Whoops.
or acquired her or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Before she jumped ship. God only knows what was going on.
You can have my wife. I want my bass back.
Right. Yeah. That was on loan. The bass was on loan.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that explains a lot about his chops and skill level. I mean,
masterful.
Yeah.
I mean, we're lucky to, in my opinion, to live in a time where we get to hear his catalog.
Yeah.
I mean, just so many lines in songs that we probably have said before, but we never wrote it down. You know what I mean? He wrote it down.
Yeah.
And then sang it, obviously. Amazing.
Yeah, I just didn't realize his backstory, and that's like pretty cool story. You got a felon stealing cars and in prison, San Quentin.
Yeah.
Johnny Cash comes in, does a concert, and he's basically, as I understand it, he basically says, "That's what I'm going to do."
Yeah.
And then he does it. Like, and he got an education, like, while he was there. Like, he went back to school, and then, I mean, I'm not super strong on that story, but he ends up being like top of the list country star with a lot to say and awesome chops, and
just writing really
but coming
real
up hard
stuff. You know, like Misery and Gin, you know, this honky tonk heaven really makes you feel like hell. I mean, that's just incredible. We've all, I mean, maybe not we've all been there, but I certainly have been there. So it's, it can be that way.
There's been mornings.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you started playing guitar at age 4.
I did. Yep. So, I mean, you know, and I say that like I'm holding the thing, you know, I wasn't like playing the way I play, obviously, but my dad always had it around, which I do appreciate, whether or not, which it kind of wild. I ended up doing that for my stepson as well. Just leaving it around, like not forcing it, nothing like that. Just if he picks it up, maybe we'll have a conversation.
Do you remember any of your first influences that kind of...
I do. Yeah. I was really into authentic, early blues, you know, Piedmont style blues, a lot of finger picking, you know, like, I mean, when you
know, Paul Jeremiah,
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, unbelievable.
He's one of the only guys I ever took a guitar lesson from.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. He was
Where
up playing
is he?
this. He was,
where is he? Does anyone know?
He had a stroke, and
Did he?
It really put the hurts to him.
That's terrible.
I heard he was working his way back but just not doing it like he used to, you know.
Oh, that's terrible.
He was driving around. What was that car? He was driving around in this classic
Was he?
car. Yeah. It was an antique, and he had to leave it running. Like, I saw him play at this joint in the wintertime, and he just had to leave the car running for the whole show, because if it cooled down, it wouldn't start.
That's
but
amazing.
Man, that guy, man, he could play on that Piedmont style
12 string. He played 12 string, just like Lead Belly.
Yeah, great singer.
You kids out there would know Nirvana or something, yeah, like playing Lead Belly.
How old were you?
Paul. Oh man, first time I heard Robert Johnson, like many of us, just knocked my socks off. That sound is just so haunting, and you know, it evolved from there. Like, I'd just go deeper into like finding out who Skip James was, and like hearing a minor blues like that, like minor, very dark sounding stuff, but so colorful and melodic. It's just incredible. It's incredible stuff. Even when I go back to it, it still gives me goosebumps to hear that stuff again.
Were you just kind of figuring all this out on your own, or did you have lessons?
Yeah, I took lessons when I was 10. I didn't have a great teacher, so I guess I learned like other things, you know, like what not to be.
Something.
You know, like something, you know. But you know, like I would ask, like, you know, I really want a Fender Stratocaster. I had heard Jimi Hendrix was like, obviously, like everyone else, like, oh, that's unworldly, you know. And he told me it was a wall clock Stratocasters. So I was like, oh, that's really inspiring to say to a kid.
Your teacher did?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like, oh, nice, man.
Let me just shut you down.
Yeah.
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 Early. Give you an early start getting crushed.
I wanted to play roots or blues, you know, or country, you know. Anything I love is always roots. Like, that's where my heart and soul is, you know, whatever it might be.
Did you get the Stratocaster?
I did. I quit lessons and got the Strat.
Did you like the Strat?
I liked the Strat, yeah. I learned quickly it wasn't for me. But, yeah, I'm a telly man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean...
It just,
yeah.
That thing's rough and tumble, you know. You can, And for the most part, it stays in tune. It was giving me some grief last night, but for the most part, they stay in tune well.
What do you think it was?
Oh, just the heat.
Yeah.
It was a little hot in there.
Yeah. Well, that was your fault, really. So that was an awesome performance, man.
Oh,
It was
thank
great.
you.
Yeah.
Thank
People
you.
loved it.
It's so fun.
Which, by the way, you can check out on coldriverradio.com. If you go to our Patreon site, you can subscribe and see all our shows in the archives. Okay, moving on.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, it's true.
So when did you first find yourself in a band?
First band. I was probably like 14, 16, something like that.
Was it in school or out of school?
In school.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we played our 8th grade prom or something. And it was probably awful. I don't remember it, but it felt great to just, it also, I remember it being romantic for me just because of my profound love for old things. No one plays their prom anymore. That's all there was. There wasn't a DJ,
Yeah.
in like, 50s, say, or like any of those, romantic scenarios. But I just loved that, I was part of that. Maybe the last of the Mohicans a little bit,
I'm with you on that, man. I was in the first all-school Freiburg Academy rock band in it was like 89 or something like that. I was a freshman in high school. And we had this like they had a janitorial building that they cleaned all the junk out of and put a stand-up piano, and that was our music department. And now, like, Freiburg Academy has one of the most outstanding musical departments in probably the country. I mean, they really do. They've got a performing arts center on campus. They've got a whole building dedicated to music, all the studio stuff, tons of instruments. They teach just about everything. And Mike Sakash is their musical director, and he's brilliant,
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just evolved to this thing. But back then, you're right, like that's what it was. And I remember like singing to the moms, you know, and just like people cheering, and I was like, okay, I thought I was going to be a naval aviator, but I like this better.
Wow, that's awesome. Naval aviator.
I
Holy
jumped ship right there. My dad was like, oh no,
Here we go.
Man, we thought we had him on track.
Oh man, that reminds me of like so many good memes out there, but that's a good one. So my daughter tells me you're a musician, right? It's like a meme of a father, talking to the daughter's boyfriend, right?
Right.
And he's like, what do you play? And he says, drums. And he's like, you have exactly 5 minutes to get the hell out of my house. That's so great.
Yeah. Not drums, anything but drums. Yeah. It's not even a musical instrument.
Right. So funny.
Mm. Dave Maddox posts all the really good drummer memes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who thinks of this stuff, but I applaud them.
So did you tell, give me a little bit more of the background on your education? Are you Berkeley? Did you go to Berkeley?
No, I never did. So I taught myself everything I do. And I've also been teaching lessons for 16 years.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I do that by Skype, and that's really exciting. I love to teach.
So people, if they want to get lessons from you, they don't have to be within proximity of you.
I've taught people in Utah, California.
What's the best way to contact you for that?
TJK, that's my name, Tyler James Kelly, right? tjkguitarman @gmail.com.
Okay. Maybe we can post that on there too or something.
Yeah, I can flash it on the screen.
Yeah. I mean, really,
one of those things where I'm pointing at it.
You could do a hell of a lot worse than taking guitar lessons from this guy.
If you just click this.
Yeah, exactly. Click here. Oops. Down here.
No, it's fun. I do enjoy teaching. I do. I've taught everyone from 5 years old to 65 years old. Like it's really fun because there are these walls that people put up where they think it's like more complex than it is. I call it street theory, Tyler James street theory. You know, I just break it down so simply.
I need your help. Sign me up, man.
Yeah, I'm ready for a
Seriously.
guitar
yeah,
lesson.
exactly.
Let's do
You
it.
got two right here.
You don't need my help, man.
Oh man, yeah, I do. Oh, guitar. For me, it's a means to an end. You know what I mean? Like I'm a singer. I've always thought of myself as a singer and a songwriter for many, many years. I've gotten away from that. I got to get back to that. We were talking about that last night. Like for so many reasons, I got to get back to it. I haven't written like what I feel like I haven't written the song yet. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Yeah, but
that's a nice fire though that's in you.
Yeah, I mean it's
like
still
that's a
there.
nice thing
it's
that's
just
burning, you know.
It's underneath the responsibilities of everything else I got going in my life, including my little boy and all that. But there's going to be a space.
You keep very busy, my friend.
Yeah,
only,
So right,
24 hours in a day, right?
Right, but guitar lessons from somebody like you would be a really good idea.
Oh man,
that'd be awesome.
That'd be fun. It'd be fun. Yeah, I mean.
And the Skype thing, I just started getting into that, like on the tail end of COVID.
Yeah, it's my favorite moment. One of my favorite moments for sure to watch someone who's been fighting it for so many years.
Yeah,
watch it, the walls being torn down, and realize that connection of how simple it is.
I feel like I've got the muscle memory. I've got the hand move. My hand will do what I want it to. It just doesn't know what to do in a lot of cases.
I always say it's already in you because you listen so much to music. We all do, right?
Right.
So it's already in you. It's about having the tools to access that door, to open that up, right? And let that stuff come out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you'd probably get a beat on where I am pretty quick if we did some.
I mean, you got your killer rhythm. I mean,
I got to link things together, and I want to find my way up that fretboard. There's so many. It's like this guitar guy. Friendly River, give them a plug. It's a great music store. It's down in Cornish, Maine. This guy John Barton, he's buddies with Bob Taylor. He knows his way around the guitar, and they fix guitars. And he's got a collection. You'd love it, man. Vintage amps, vintage guitars.
So I should bring my wallet.
Yeah, yeah. And he's very reasonable and great with trade-ins and that sort of stuff. He gives an honest trade.
Yeah.
And yeah. And
that's rare
for you. Yeah,
unfortunately.
He's a no. He doesn't give you any fluff. He's just a really easygoing guy. He's been doing it forever. School teacher, but he does. So his shop's open at weird hours after school or on the weekends. But I was down there, and my guitar, I always wear out the first 3 frets. Like they're just toast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And he's like, well, that's where the money is.
Cowboy chords. Yeah. That's one of my favorite Steve Earle quotes. He's like, well, there's no money past the 4th fret.
Right. So. Really? No kidding.
Which is kind of, there's some truth to that. You know, as far as songwriting goes, it's hard to beat those cowboy chords.
Yeah. You probably know this one, but what's the difference? I mean, what's the difference between a jazz musician and a country musician?
Oh man. I can't remember. It's like 3,000 or something.
Yeah. Right? A jazz musician plays 1,000 chords to 3 people, and a country musician plays 3 chords to 1,000 people.
Yeah, that's so good.
Probably the other way around.
That's so
bad
good.
delivery. It's early in the day.
It's only a few coffees here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, there's some truth to that, I guess.
I told that to the guys.
Keep it simple, stupid, right?
Yeah, like a couple shows ago, I told that to the guys, and it was like flat, no response.
Yeah,
they just all.
That's not funny, John.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't. That's not funny.
Yeah. Is that
it's a little too close?
Yeah, a little too close. Like real cute, bro.
Yeah. Thanks for the inspiration.
Yeah.
Are we going on stage now?
I quit.
Yeah.
I've had enough of this.
Man, that's been like, as far as this show, keep those guys, the band, it was just Sonny and this other guy, a good friend of mine, still play bass with him, but he wasn't really a jazz guy.
Yeah.
And it was just the 2 of them. And then it evolved. Sonny brought Todd Baker into it. And then Dave Maddox jumped on board, and he loved it.
That's amazing.
And it's truly got to be that he enjoys it. That's the only reason he's still doing it.
Dave Maddox just jumped on board.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. And to have his sort of advocacy really was a lot of inspiration. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was working my way through it too. And he was very supportive that whole
heavy
time.
Listeners, man. They have, as they say in the jazz world, big ears.
Yeah. And he does, his thing is to play to the song,
Oh my God.
And not,
he's incredible.
Yeah.
What, immense feel.
Yep. They're all, but that whole thing.
Yeah, and I should really thank you for having me here and introducing me to them. I'm lucky to hopefully I can work with Sonny on having him play on my solo record.
Awesome.
That I'm working on finally.
Yeah.
Right now, and this month rather.
Oh, great.
And
did you talk to him about it?
I did.
Oh,
and
cool.
and he's down, which is just so cool.
Yeah. He's great, man.
Yeah.
Sonny's.
I mean, he's just so
all
thoughtful.
Around.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary player, man.
Yeah. Sonny Barbato. Go ahead.
Sonny Barbato. I think this could be a good time to get into what that process is like doing your solo album right now.
Yeah, so it's an interesting process because you would think that, I think most people think you got to go to a fancy studio. You got to spend as much money as you possibly can. And there it is, right? For me, it's never worked well doing that. You know, I'm never happy with the sounds. It's like, maybe that's just my experience with the studios that I've been in, but I'm just recording my record in an apartment. And my fans just want to hear the songs, you know. They don't really care where it was recorded, you know what I mean? They don't care about the rug or the couch or the fancy paintings in the studio. You can't see that stuff, right? Anyway, we're just experimenting with getting great, natural, organic sounds, you know, like how does an acoustic guitar sound, you know?
And that's something that's tough to spend the amount of time developing if you're like paying $500 a day.
It's super hard. Yeah, if you don't have that.
Because you were mentioning, I mean, you like to spend 3 weeks trying to figure out a guitar sound.
Yeah, what works for a dreadnought, you know, to really get that dreadnought to sing. We all know dreadnought acoustics just sound great, right? But to record them, where's that mic placement and such, you know? It's a little nerdy, but I think it makes a difference, you know, and we're hitting it. We're hitting it, and it's working. So, and you know, I'm an underdog mentality, so I do like that. I'm going to be able to say like, oh, you like the record? We recorded in a closet in an apartment, you know, nothing fancy, you know, at all. It's not.
Who is it that you're working with?
An old friend of mine. He's a drummer. He was actually the second drummer of the Silks years ago. And it's been cool to be reacquainted, and we've learned so much separately, and then to just be hanging out again. He's really talented. His name's Alex Garzone, out of Providence, Rhode Island. But he's doing well and just listening, you know. I don't mean to say it this way, but it's the only way I know how to say it, is like doesn't get in my way. You know, I got to get these ideas out first before we start tearing stuff apart. You know what I mean? I got to hear it the way it was in my head first, and then we'll go from there. So
sweet. How many songs do you think you're going to end up having on there?
Probably have like 11, but I'm really happy with this material. I mean, it's truthfully me. I always wanted, like you say, that song, right? You're always chasing. You're like, I want to have that one song. I want that one record where I can leave something that people just right away get to know me. And I feel like I got that right now, which is exciting. I know it could sound silly, but it's hard to do. Making records is hard.
How many do you have now?
Well, I only have 2 with the boys. We have one that we haven't been able to mix, but we have quite a bit of songs recorded already. So I'd like to get a few of those out. But I'm looking forward to.
So this will be your first like solo album?
Solo album.
Right on.
It's called Dream River.
Oh, cool.
Well, I ended up moving out to Coventry, Rhode Island, and we live on a river. We're very lucky. It's quiet. And
I was going to ask what it's like living in Providence, but so you're not in the city.
Yeah, I haven't been there like a couple of years, 3 years now. It was fun. Well, it lasted, you know, but like any city, it's blowing up and expanding, and I guess that's how it goes, you know. But I'm good anywhere, really. I think I might live at the Wildcat for a little couple
Yeah,
days.
good. Yeah.
I like it here.
You should.
I live here now,
Yeah.
as my
They'll-
attorney says. I live here now.
I think they'd let you. Yeah. Yeah, you're looking for like
He
a house
just-
musician gig? 'Cause
He just came and didn't leave.
one might be opening up.
Yeah. He washes dishes now.
So
Yeah.
you mentioned that you've been writing songs for a really long time.
Yeah.
Are there any songs from like a long time ago that are making it onto the album that are like?
Yeah, there's this tune. I like to tinker and mess with a couple versions of songs until I feel like they're right, or even just because like I want to, call the cops. You know what I mean? What are you gonna? I wrote the song. I'll change it any way I want, right? So that's kind of fun. It's also a nice way to breathe some fresh air into an old song that you're like, you've played 1,000 times, but definitely interesting because some of the fans get attached to those versions. So you're also like, oh boy, I don't want to rub them wrong either, but sometimes it's that creative thing, right?
Yeah.
That balance, like keeping them happy. And
You're going to get the email. Why did you do that?
yeah,
I loved that
some
song
people
so
are
much.
aggressive. They're like, don't ever do that again.
Yeah, right.
Like they're real
Threatening
aggressive.
you.
Yeah, like wow,
That's nice. It's kind of a backwards
is.
compliment.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, there's
I'll
plenty
kill
of
you
those
if
out
you do
there.
that again.
I almost wanted to, if I could remember them all. Someday I'll actually write down all the backwards compliments I've ever gotten, and I just want to make like a book, like a living room book.
You're pretty good.
You
That's one.
Yeah,
you're pretty good. You're all right.
Yeah, you're pretty
Yeah,
good.
you're all right.
Yeah.
How do I take that?
There's worse.
You got
ones out
potential.
there.
The older I get, the whole "you've got potential" thing was
Yeah.
stopped.
You could do
working
this
for me.
full time, man.
If you have potential at almost 50 years old, I mean, what does that mean?
Yeah.
It's like that means you haven't done jack.
Strangest, yeah. Strangest compliment.
You have talent, but you haven't used it yet.
I mean, even like bigger musicians, which this isn't them being weird, that's just their ego, but bigger musicians I won't name, but they've even said some of the worst stuff that we were opening up for somebody, and there's a few of them out there that I remember one guy said, what are you guys doing? Like just like that, like what is it that you're doing? It's like, playing music, man, like,
And he just left it at that.
yeah, just strange.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
I've had some interesting interactions with bigger
I have
monkey
no
monks,
idea what he's
kinda.
doing. I have no idea what he's doing, but he seems to like his own brand.
Like some people don't like an opener at all.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, that's cool.
take it off the table.
Yeah, I mean that's the evening with, right?
Yeah.
That can work for some groups for sure. But yeah, there's no shortage of those compliments.
Yeah.
It's
It's an interesting world. Like I try to in my world, I try to, like with the radio show. I mean, I want to bring people into a community, introduce them to that community, and everybody gets treated well, and everybody feels good. It's not like this competitive environment. You know what I mean? It's like we've all got our contribution to this thing,
yeah.
to this community, and let's try to make it flourish, treat each other right. And come out of it with a positive experience, but that's
Absolutely.
not the music business in any way,
Unfortunately.
shape, or form. It's a dog eat dog. Musicians aren't out there getting gigs for each other and
Right.
stuff like that. You know what I mean? But there is a goodwill and a community underneath all that.
Yeah, we all have a ton in common.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I always say. So it's like it's just easier to work together.
Yeah.
It is easier.
I think it's improved.
Doesn't always happen. But it is. I do know for a fact it's easier to work together.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, that whole competitive edge, it can be productive, I guess, but it has to be tamped by,
Yeah.
camaraderie,
Right.
some kind
Right.
of a mutual goal.
Yeah. Respect.
Yeah.
It's kind of, and when you look at it like that, it's fun. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Yeah. It's not a head cutting business. I can't imagine what it was like back in Robert Johnson's day or
Well, some people died. That's how.
Yeah,
That's
they
how
did.
it was.
Billie Holiday.
Some people drove miles and miles just to shoot the guy who was pretending to be the guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Like, you can't take my name. You know, you're making money on my name. I'm going to come to your gig and
Kill you.
put you down. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Wild, right? Like,
Yeah.
just,
I knew a guy who was a bouncer in Toronto at the Hawk's Nest, which Ronnie Hawkins just died.
yeah.
Yeah. There goes an icon. So Ronnie Hawkins, for those that don't know, was the front man for the Hawks, and the Hawks were the band, Robbie Robertson, Levon Helm, all those guys, and they played in the Hawk's Nest in Toronto, and that was their house gig. That's where those guys
Yeah.
sharpened their edge, you know.
Yeah. I like that they tell people that Ronnie was a mentor of theirs,
Right.
which I always loved. Like, they openly say that often.
Right.
Like, it wasn't a one-off. You know, they say that a lot.
So this guy I knew was a bouncer at the Hawk's Nest, and he would stand, it was upstairs, and he would stand at the bottom of the stairs and greet people, whatever.
Yeah.
So one night, Bob Dylan shows up to scope those guys out.
Who's that?
Yeah, because he'd heard about him, right?
Yeah.
So Ronnie Hawkins, I can't insert the explicatives, but my buddy was at the big dude. He's at the bottom of the stairs, and Ronnie Hawkins took Bob Dylan and threw him down the stairs and said, explicative, 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 you're not stealing my band. And my buddy like picked him up. Sorry, Mr. Dylan, dusted him off, and Bob Dylan left. And then, wouldn't you know, like, you know, history followed. But I always thought that was a pretty wild story. Yeah.
He stole the band. Wow, that is wild.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you throw Bob, though? He just seems so frail to me.
You know,
But,
you come to steal my band.
Yeah.
You're out of here, little guy.
yeah.
And Ronnie, he looked like a big guy. I don't know. He probably was formidable.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
He's got that twinkle in his eye for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. One hand on the belt buckle.
Oh, yeah.
Back.
That's one of my favorite videos of him and Johnny Paycheck hanging out on a tour bus, and Johnny's talking about, you know, just how rough his life was at the time, and it's pretty candid and beautiful to see those two. And Ronnie's just being himself and kind of like mentoring, I guess you could say, just saying all the right things to a wild man, Johnny Paycheck.
Cool. That's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Gotta check that out.
Sharon Ray, you can see him play the best snippet of that song, Sharon Ray. It's just gorgeous. Gives me goosebumps every time. Yeah.
Johnny Paycheck.
Wild dude.
This job and shit.
Oh yeah, that's a classic one. He's got many though. Amazing production, powerhouse voice,
Man,
perfectly arranged songs.
talk about roots. Like, have you ever read the Louisiana Hayride by Hoss Logan?
Yeah.
I mean, there's like some incredible history in that
God,
show.
yeah. I mean, it goes on and on.
Yeah, I read that when we were just starting to develop the Cold River radio show, you know.
Fun.
And to hear, like, Jim Denny was producing the Grand Ole Opry, and Elvis went down there to try to play, and Jim Denny was like, son, go back to Memphis and drive a truck. You're never going to have a career as a singer.
Right.
You know, so then he goes over to Louisiana Hayride, and Hoss Logan's like, sure, son, get it.
Yeah.
He does Bill Monroe's Blue Moon of Kentucky. Apparently, Bill Monroe didn't like that at all.
Like it. Did not like it.
You know, next thing you know, he's like international superstar,
Right.
the king of rock and roll.
Bill Monroe didn't mind the checks.
Yeah, right. Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
I heard he was he had to have a straight laced band. Nobody was allowed to drink or anything like that. Like, that's what I heard. I guess I read somewhere, but
I do love that about those guys. Though. They're so real. You know, I love that, and colorful.
Yeah.
You know, real and colorful.
Oh man,
you know, one of my favorite.
Tragedy.
I heard about like Sturgill Simpson was hanging out with Merle Haggard before he passed, and he said I couldn't believe I was in his house. Like, I was just like so, or something like that. He was just enamored, and he had noticed Grammys all over the floor by the doors or something like that, and he had asked, what's the deal with these? And Merle was like, they make great doorstops. All these Grammys and awards, you know. It's like, I love that.
They probably did.
Yeah, they probably did, you know.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they're just so real, you know.
Yeah, man. Hank Williams' backstory was, I never realized what pain that guy was in, and it explains a lot. But like born with spinal bifida, you know, like he had a chronic pain problem his whole life. He's self-medicating. Like he actually drank, what was it? It was ammonia and Coca-Cola mixed together because he thought that was like something people were trying, some home remedy.
Yeah,
I mean, Jesus. I mean, I can't even tell you something.
I mean, I personally like to start every day with that.
Yeah, ammonia and Coca-Cola. Yeah, exactly. Jeez, I mean, they were propping him up in the nudie suit or whatever and pushing him out on stage, you know.
Yeah,
man. And he he fired off shots, brandished his firearm in public, you know, took a couple shots at his wife, you know, things that would immediately have you off the radar in today's world. But back then that was just like something you did.
Probably helps your career at that point.
I mean,
maybe.
And we still sing those songs. You know? Those songs are so relevant still. I mean, right down to the arrangement again, like so strong.
Yeah, I think he had like 500
Timeless.
songs published at 29.
Yep. It's forever.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. And even the recording quality, it's great for the late 40s.
You know, that's what, like, I'm just not hearing it
probably
in
like
today's world. I mean, I know we leaped into this new digital age where, you know, everything is easier and the sound quality is excellent, but it's like it has to be perfect or it doesn't sound right.
Right.
And you listen to those old recordings,
suck the soul out of it. Yeah.
Oh man, there's like Johnny Cash with a poker card stuck in his guitar, just, you know, and it's all out of tune and he's singing, but it sounds great.
Yeah.
You know,
it's because it's real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. No auto tune, right?
Right. And to get that authenticity and that forgiveness, I think I mean, I don't know if it's just because it's analog.
Yeah. I mean, how many Neil Young records do people love?
Yeah. Right. Oh my God.
I mean, he's singing.
You listen to those
and out of tune, and it is, some of that's so beautiful, you know?
Right. Yeah. They were allowed to have the space to keep going.
Yeah. There's like even on Harvest, there's a mistake on the acoustic guitar where somebody, I think it sounds like someone picks a guitar up, but it made it on the track. I mean, it's something we all hear. I could point it out to you every time. And once you hear it, you'll never not hear it ever again. But that's kind of fun that they left that. They either really missed it or were like, well, whatever. Yeah. We're done. We're moving on to the next record.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's like there is sort of an obsession with perfection and everything being seamless and tight and, you know, precise and pitch perfect. And it's almost like, and I don't know, some people have said that this generation's ear is being tuned so that they can't tolerate anything that's not perfect because it all has to be perfect.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
I've actually never heard that.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. I wonder. I mean,
I think that is true to a degree. I also feel like the ability to just punch in and out so easily makes it so you don't need to learn to play the part as well, because you can
sit there and do 40 takes.
There and do extra takes, whereas before, like, you had to be able to do it in one take.
Yeah.
And that will just inevitably get a much better performance.
Right.
I think.
I mean, that's great for session players, right? Because if you want that sound, you really only have to call them. You know, they're the ones that can do it in one take. So it's if it's rare, like you say, you know what I mean?
It's also not, it's still time consuming. Oh, that's the reset the camera's timer. But it's still time consuming to splice takes together.
Oh my God.
Though,
yeah,
like,
I can't even.
It's like, yeah, you can do it,
do any
but
of that.
do you really want to spend 8 hours like
right
chopping?
If you didn't have the talent to do it, you would spend 8 hours doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't just lay it down.
Yeah.
And
it's like a tool, right? It's a good tool. I get it. Who wants to cut tape? You know, nobody. But you know, it's a tool.
Do you think you can record analog, convert to digital, or vice versa, and still get that warmth and forgiveness of analog? Or
no, I mean, you certainly can. I just think that that's an art. Like, it's so hands-on, and like, you got to get to know that machine. You know, if you have someone who knows how to run that, sure, you record to tape. You know, you'll be very happy. If you have somebody driving that ship,
right?
If they have it as a novelty, Like it's just kind of in the corner collecting dust until someone wants to use it. They don't know the art of that machine, you know, how to use that, how hard to hit the preamps and such. So
Right. So your
know,
take is you've got to have some expertise in the analog world.
I
to
personally
make it.
think
Yeah.
so. Just in my experience,
It's not just hooking a compressor
I
up and
wouldn't.
plugging into a reel to reel.
Yeah, I wouldn't record the tape personally, unless, like I said, unless they're like they specialize in it.
Yeah. And if you're going to work with somebody that specializes in that now, like you say, it's a
Yeah.
dying art. It's going to cost you a pretty penny.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to buy the tapes, and
Yeah.
if they don't have them available, and they're certainly out there, but everything's pricey, you know.
So is there a way to get the kind of warmth out of the digital?
Yeah, I mean,
media?
the technology now is incredible. I mean, even these drum programs where there's drummers in like, I don't even know, like Sweden, maybe like just recording a snare drum all day. All right, hit it lighter, hard, you know, like all these different attacks, if you will, and then sampling it into a program. It's
Yeah, I saw
it's
a
an
thing on a
actual
dude that-
drummer. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's
guy did that in his closet and made like one of the first guys to do that, made like a suitcase of drum sounds, and he did it in his closet in his apartment.
wow.
And he became like a multi-millionaire and started this huge company of sound samples, you know.
Yeah.
And he's like the go-to premier guy for all these pop stars and stuff. They use his sounds.
See
you
what
know,
I'm
his
saying?
sounds.
You
Yeah.
got to record stuff in a closet. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, like you don't need anything fancy.
Right, and just a cowbell.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. You know, good for him. Wow.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was.
But yeah, I mean, technology is just, it's
Mhm.
incredible what they're doing. It is very easy to create.
Are you doing any sampling on your solo records?
No, it's like I said, I do a lot of root stuff. So it's mostly acoustic instruments. Like there's a fiddle and pedal steel.
Oh, sweet. Who's playing pedal steel for you?
I don't know yet. I might. I'm trying to. There's a few names in the hat. I'm hoping
In the Northeast?
Yes. Hopefully.
Send them my way, man. I want to get a
yeah?
pedal steel player on this show so bad.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
No problem. I actually got the honor to play with Bob Metzger a few times. Great player. I think he used to play for Leonard Cohen.
Oh, really? Huh.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's cool, man. He's got a lot of great stories.
Larry Campbell, you know, the guy that he was playing in Dylan's band for quite a while.
Wow.
He's like a utility player. He plays everything.
Yeah.
And steel. And I don't know if he's playing straight steel or pedal steel. He probably can do both, but
Right.
But he was doing his own thing, like with his wife, and they were touring around. And I thought, man, maybe he's like accessible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's up there, but might be able to get him. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
these guys are just wanting a gig too. You know,
Yeah.
if they like the project,
Exactly.
they're probably going to be there.
Yeah, and you know, you find a sponsor or whatever to
Yeah, toss them
and
a few
say,
bucks.
and look, we can bring this person in. If you just like Peter Yarrow is somebody that was on the radar just before COVID that would be willing to come in if we could meet a certain fee. And you know, he's a Peter Paul and Mary. You know, it would be cool to get him on. You know,
Wow. He's got a few stories.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, even for that.
Yeah.
Like Jonathan Edwards came in, and he's out of Maine, so it was wasn't too hard to get him. He was very nice about it, and he had a blast. You know, it's fun to bring in some of those guys because they've got that whole history, and it's almost like I'd rather sit down and talk to them.
Right.
Than, I mean, I want to hear him play.
Of course,
he was awesome. 72, I think, when he came in there, and he was jumping around like a spring chicken, man. And he was on his way to see his mom, who was 96, and celebrate her
Good
birthday.
genes,
Yeah, exactly.
Good genes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
He was handing out Jonathan Edwards rolling papers. Yeah. And he's like, you know, I was advocating legalization in 1968.
Wow.
So I'm way ahead of the curve here, you know?
I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, I got to get those made. That's awesome.
Yeah. Rolling papers with
Yeah.
your name on them.
I thought of a good, like somebody said, man, you guys knocked our socks off last night. And I made this mental note. I was like, we got to make socks. Like, what a weird thing to see at the merch table. You can buy silk socks.
Are they going to be
just
made
says-
out of silk?
Oh, see, now we're talking.
And you could call them knockoffs.
Knockoffs, yeah. The price is knocked off. Half off, yeah.
TM. Ching.
Yep. That's great.
I'd buy some silk.
Silk
Some
socks.
The silk socks.
Say that 5 times.
I'm not even going to try.
Yeah.
So I'd like to know a little more about your current band.
Yeah. So I've been, Jonas used to play, I met Jonas in Providence. He came out to a solo gig of mine and had heard that I was looking for a band. We just hit it off.
What were you doing? Where were you in your career at this point?
Just starting out, really. I mean, not just starting out. I should say that. I was 21. So a lot of piss and vinegar, feral animal. And I was trying to play more at these bar gigs and such and get my name out there. And it was fun, just getting to know the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I met a lot of people very fast. That was cool.
Did you know at that point, like, I want to do this full time?
Yeah, I mean, I knew early on. I mean, I knew, it was a problem a long time ago. It was a problem, yeah. I mean, it's interesting when people say that, like, when did you know, or some things like this. It's never been a thought. So it's hard to answer that kind of stuff. This is what I do. It's an extension of who I am, so it's really, it's hard to explain, but it's not something I cognitively like, I'm going to be a musician.
Yeah.
I would tell my stepson, don't do this. Don't do this, man.
Yeah. I'm kind of in your camp where I'll leave the instruments laying around, but I'm not going to be like, hey, if he picks the thing up and starts, I'll support that all the way. But it's got to be his choice, not mine.
Yeah,
and
it's a hard business. It's a hard business. So you full of backhanded compliments and
yeah, exactly right. Long-winded podcast.
Yeah. Set it up, break it down, drive.
Yeah, exactly.
Set it up, break it down, drive.
Play every now and then.
Yeah, every once in a while you play some music.
Yeah.
So you're 21. You're a feral beast out on the streets.
I love that.
Prowling
just
in the streets.
Just added that in. Yeah. So you're 21, feral beast. Anyway, yeah, I met Jonas Parmalee, one of my best buds. Funny guy, like super smart. Just a great bass player. I mean, these guys are so reliable, and we've been through everything. I mean, any scenario that you could think of, we've done it on the road.
It's awesome, man. You can see that in you're just
chemistry,
like a real band. There's a lot of bands that are contrived or put together, pickup players or whatever, or produced. Yeah. But you guys have the road hardened.
We love good, and
like,
we fight good too.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Band of brothers.
Right.
Like it's.
How long has the band been together?
11 years.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
For a band these days, that's quite a while. Usually that's where 10 years is like we're breaking up kind of thing for most.
So have women and other things kind of tried to break up the band?
Oh no Fleetwood Mac situations. No.
No. Ever have a girl in the band?
No Yoko Onos.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard life.
Yeah.
And it takes a certain personality and chemistry to understand that for sure.
Yeah. Like, I'm not a traveling musician. I'm very fortunate to be as busy as I am within striking distance of my own bed at where I sleep almost every night. Occasionally I'm on the road, but it's very rare.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people that are,
right,
and how tough that is, and like what it takes to, you got to have somebody that really loves you to
Yeah, you
support
piss
that.
you piss a lot of people off for sure.
Yeah.
You know, and I certainly have. But no regrets.
So what's your next book?
Yeah. No regrets. You know. No, it's true. It's if you're gonna do the authentic thing, you're gonna piss some people off. It's just how it goes. You know, there's no way around it. You know, like I have to call my lady in an hour and tell her I live at the Wildcat now. You know what I mean? It's hard news to me.
Sorry, babe. I got a dishwashing job.
Yeah. It's real lucrative, you know.
There's benefits.
Yeah. No, so I met Jonas is great. Sam joined the band, and he lived in Boston at the time, and his name was thrown in the hat by a few fans. Spoke very highly of him. Talk about a guy who's done it all. I mean, every situation. Then this is before he joined. He's just was so pro, and I'm like, this is amazing. I mean, you don't have to communicate. We already are, you know, just saying nothing. It's great. Sam Jodry.
Yeah.
Yep. Sam Jodry.
He was way into it it was awesome watching him, his facial expressions.
Yeah. He means every hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. He's been doing it forever. He's incredible, man. I mean, and so humble. You know, I remember the first time we played together. He's like, I don't know if I'm the guy for you, but I'm going to give it my best shot. I remember him saying that. I was like, that's so cool. I mean, because in my head, I was like, you're already in, you know, like you're just
the guy.
Yeah. It's just super chill, like, and laid back, you know, easy going, you know. And then Johnny, years later, we used to play this place called Atwood's Tavern in Cambridge all the time.
Yeah, I've heard about that joint.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's very intimate, great spot. They even just renovated. They were great to us for years. I mean, we did a lot of residencies, and it helped our Boston presence for sure. But I'll never forget this. One of our fans, I guess she lives somewhere in the vicinity of the Allman Brothers manager. And she was like a neighbor or something. And she had asked him to come check us out. And I'll never forget it because he actually did. But it was on the day Greg Allman died. Like, we had a show. So it was a hard day for a lot of musicians. And weird, like the Allman Brothers manager is here. I'm like, I don't even want to be here playing music. Like, it's just a tough day. Anyway, he's there. I have no idea how long he stayed, but I got word through the grapevine that he said that I don't have any songs and that I could benefit from another guitar player. So, of course, I was bummed out. Like, oh, man, I don't have any songs. Like, did you just stay for 5 minutes, or did you stay for 3 hours that we play?
Bad
you know what
mood.
I mean? Yeah, like,
right.
Let me hear you play something, pal. Anyway, whatever. It's all good. But instead of getting super bummed out, I was like, well, maybe I'll try to get a guitar player or something, or an auxiliary, someone to hold it down, because we were a 3-piece at the time. And it was a lot for me. You know, you're playing rhythm, lead, and real thick stuff. I used to have to play with a thumb pick to just make it sound as thick as possible. I've done the 2-amp deal, all sorts of stuff, splitters. And anyway, I had met Johnny Trauma on a pickup gig in Worcester, and we just kind of hit it off. I asked him what he's up to and if he'd be interested in playing music, and he was. So, and he's an incredible musician that's played with everybody.
Yeah, he's with the B3 Kings, right?
He's with the B3 Kings.
Got to get them up here.
Dub Apocalypse.
About that.
That's like a reggae dub sound. Incredible band.
What's the name again?
Dub Apocalypse.
Cool. Okay.
Just silly stuff. I mean, so good. Yeah, Johnny wears many hats, you know. a true musician. I mean, he already knew your band. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The first
Like,
thing when he walks in, oh, Mr. Maddox.
yeah.
That's what it's all about for me. I'm like, wow. You know, the more I've done this show, that's one of the things about it that's so cool is that I start to see there's this, like, you know, Lyle Brewer. And I mean,
Yes.
you know, there's like these, it's a community, a very great, large community in the Northeast here. And everybody knows everybody. You know what I mean? There
Even
is,
in the business, a lot of folks don't know that there's a lot of Northeasterners in the business. They just live down south, you know?
Right. Like Duke Robillard, you know,
Yep.
I mean, everybody knows Duke and all the guys in his band and the Room Full of Blues, and then all the people that have gone through that clearinghouse of an institution, you know. I mean, and then I have a dude come in here the other night to Hoot Night, and he's like this unpretentious dude, comes in and he's got this beautiful Korg. He asked me the week before, he's like, can I bring my keyboard in? I like what you're doing. I was like, sure, man, because it's what it's all about. And he shows up with his little gal, and they're like loading in as I get here. And I'm like, oh man, because sometimes it doesn't work out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, what's going to happen here? Okay, well, it's my job. So I get in there and he's got this nice looking keyboard. So that was promising. And I go, what did you intend to do? What do you want to do, man? You want to play by yourself or sit in on it, some songs? And he's like, oh man, I want to play your opening set. I love all the stuff you're doing. And I'm like, all right, okay, here we go.
Happens,
you know, he sits down and it's just like, we've been playing together for 20 years. I mean, it was just every single thing I did, he was all around it, embellishing, singing backup. And turns out he was in Room Full of Blues with Duke Robillard way back in the day.
Oh,
like
wow.
One of the early Duke Robillard albums he's on. And he's this guy that you never would have guessed, you know, from how he acted, that he had this history. And so now he's like got a second home in Albany, and he's going to come by when he can and sit in and stuff, you know. And it's like,
yeah, those are the moments that we live for, kind of, you know.
Yeah, and I was like, I know Duke. He's like, what? You know, like he had no idea. There was no.
Hey, he's played here.
Yeah, right. I was like, hey, he's played right here in this spot. He's like, no way. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really pretty.
Yeah,
wild.
we're lucky up here to have two Dukes. You know, Duke Levine.
Yeah. Duke
I mean,
Levine, he's with Bonnie Raitt right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a bad gig.
He's on my very hard to listen to original project. That's kind of what put me together with Dave Maddox and Joe. Like I hired Sonny and Duke and Dave all to play on that.
Wow.
And just I sent them out my tracks. It was like, come into the studio. It's gonna be coming in hot.
Yeah.
And one day, and of course Duke comes in. He's like, do you want it to sound like this, or do you want it to sound like this? You know. And I was like, that. That's exactly. Well, not that. You know.
Yeah.
And he just.
I know.
Which I know you could do too, man. Which I'd love to. I'd love to get you to do that.
Nowhere's near what Duke can do, but he's
pretty extraordinary.
Oh my God, it's so great. I mean, my lady, she a couple of years ago, she had purchased me a gift lesson with Duke.
Oh, cool.
Just an afternoon. I was like, oh man, this is crazy. You know, driving up there, super nervous, and super nice guy. I mean,
yeah, I don't think they come much nicer than him.
You know, we're surrounded by amplifiers. I was like, so awesome.
And I think his brother's like a vintage guitar collector or something.
I heard about that. Yeah, Johnny told me a little bit about that.
Yeah, because he's got like that Strat. That Tele he's playing like a $30,000 guitar or something, right?
Yeah, that's an old one.
Yeah,
you don't find those deals anymore.
Right.
Joe Bonamassa owns everything now, probably.
Yeah, Duke is. Yeah, he's one of those guys everybody knows and loves.
Yeah, I mean, he's just that. His touch is, it's incredible. Yeah, we got two Dukes up here.
Yeah. And Kevin Barry and Duke together, that's a phenomenon.
Yeah, I mean, Dave just told me last night he's playing with Jackson Browne now.
Kevin Barry is?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's not also a great gig.
Yeah, right. And both those guys, they're like the Stone Mountain band for Carol Noonan when she does stuff over there. If she needs pickup players or does the Christmas show or whatever, they come in and, what's his name? Chris, blues singer, Chris.
Smithers?
I don't know. No.
Oh.
A little, he's out of Rhode Island. Sings with Duke. Gosh. I'm sorry. I can't remember.
That's all right.
His name.
There's a Chris Cody.
Cody. That's what it is. Chris
Boston,
Cody. Yeah, Boston. Okay. He comes up and
he's fantastic.
does stuff with them. Yeah. As soon as he opens his mouth, you're like, what?
Yeah.
You know,
He's incredible.
powerhouse.
Incredible. Yeah. Commanding.
Yeah.
Commanding.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So good, man. Yeah. We're lucky to have a lot of these guys, you know. There's good music up here, ladies and gentlemen.
You should be playing at Stone Mountain. Have you
I have never heard of it. I've never heard of it.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry to say.
Stone Mountain Arts Center, man. It is like the premier venue around here.
Okay.
And it's like in the middle of the woods. And she's had Lyle Lovett there.
Oh man.
Vince Gill has played there a couple of times. I mean, people that a $200 ticket and this really extravagant, you know, dinner, but it's a country room. It's a 185 seat venue, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's special.
And she gets heavy hitters in there, man. And she is like supporting up and coming and new projects, and like Spencer Albee has been in there a few times with his song, you know, original music.
Yeah. Call me up for dinner, honey. I'll be there.
Oh, you'd be awesome.
I'd love to do it.
I'm probably going to regret telling you because you're going to end up getting a residency there. And she's like,
Oh.
sorry, non-compete. You can't play anywhere else in the area.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, the money's good. Okay.
Exclusivity clause, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. I wouldn't begrudge you because it's an awesome room. And she's a great person to work with. Very shrewd businesswoman. And that's how she's made it work.
Yeah.
Because she's literally like, you'd be driving to this venue going, where am I?
Right.
You think this is backwoods, man. You try to go to the Stone Mountain Arts Center and you're going to think you're in like, you're going to start hearing banjos. And
oh, I love that.
Know, are they flooding the river today?
I love that. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's out there. Like she notoriously people get turned around because the GPS doesn't work. And,
sure.
And it's on this hill, you know, you can be on a dirt road all of a sudden. And but you get to the venue, you're like, wow.
That reminds me of my, we play a Friends Festival once a year out in Pennsylvania. And every time we get lost trying to get to his place. I mean, we've been playing there like 7 years or something. Still get lost. It's almost tradition now. You know, there's just so much space where he is, you know, tree farms and such. But yeah, it's a trip. He's always laughing like, watch out, don't get lost in the tree farm, you know, take this left. And it's hysterical. The GPS never works.
Yeah.
Over in that area.
When you need it the most.
Yeah. Yep. Technology, man.
Yeah.
Supposed to help us.
Yeah. Talk about ghosts. Sometimes I think there's like a ghost in the machine, man.
You're right.
You know, at the Charlotte airport, I decide to rely on my phone for everything, you know, and all of a sudden it's like, sorry, not working. I go back to the gate that I came out of and they're like, sorry, we switched gates. You got to go to this other one.
Yeah. You got to take a bus.
All of a sudden it's like, why did I rely on this thing? You know?
I know.
Yeah.
They can be a pain for sure.
Yeah. They should have a bus from one end of the airport to the other, man. Cause it's like you land in one end and they're like, your flight leaves in 5 minutes and you have to be on the other end of the airport. You know, people are running.
I know.
Yeah. It's nuts.
I know that whole business. Oh.
Yeah. You know, I was surprised. People were, like I was saying last night, I mean, people were surprisingly pleasant. I really felt like the sort of universal consciousness was we're happy to be traveling, even though it sucks to stand in line and wait and get crammed in a plane. And people just seemed like it was hard to be angry, you know, because they were just free again in a way, you know, after all this insanity. So the tone was pleasant. And even though we're like, gas is $1,000 a gallon, people they had nice clothes. They were just, you know, their nice luggage everywhere. You know, I didn't see, of course, then I got on the wrong road driving through Chattanooga and I was like, whoa, you know, you just get into areas of a
rough,
you know, pull off the wrong street. And it's like, wow, Main Street looks nice, but this isn't pretty over here, you know?
Yeah. A lot of people having it hard, you know?
Yeah. Big time. We got a lot to be thankful for, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Doing stuff like this.
Yeah. I mean,
recording podcasts in the Wildcat Lounge.
Yeah, exactly. Who's got the life, huh? What do we do? We've done like, how long we've been at it?
We've done over an hour.
Yeah. Right on. We could go on. I was like, I was thinking we should have recorded last night when we were hot, you know?
Yeah.
But this is great.
Oh, this is
right on,
perfect.
Man.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add, Z?
Can we sample the laugh?
Yeah.
You ready to make your appearance?
We should sample the laugh at least and plug that in every now and then.
What do you want to know about Tyler
Yeah, that would be. That's a good question.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to know less.
Yeah, the whole time he's been sitting over there. Jesus, when are we out of here?
Right.
Oh man. Yeah, I stuck one of those breakfast sandwiches in the fridge for Pierce. I'm gonna take that down and heat it up for him.
Nice.
Yeah, I had some family that I haven't seen in a long time. They showed up at the show last night. The husband is they're my cousins, and out of Palm Beach, Florida, and he's the yacht captain for Jack Nicklaus, the golfer, the Golden Bear. He's got a $10 million boat, and
Wow.
Donnie's job is to just captain of the yacht. That's what he does, and he takes Nicholas's friends to the Bahamas bone fishing like regularly.
God.
That's his thing, you know. And so they finally have come up because it's just been with COVID and family stuff, and I
Yeah.
haven't seen them in forever. So they're here in town renting a camp on a lake. I'm gonna go say hi to them today and
Wow.
see them. But yeah, they were at the show. That was pretty awesome.
That's fun.
Yeah. Gonna go grab Pierce, give him a sandwich,
Toss him in the
take the
lake.
monster dog,
Yeah.
go over and see family.
Yeah, he must be getting pretty big.
He is. Yeah. Remember, he was just a little
He's
cute little puppy.
tiniest
He's
little
like
thing.
going on he's pushing 100 pounds now. He's got to be at least
Oh, yeah.
75, 80 pounds. But
Big goofballs
oh
for
yeah,
sure, man.
yeah, total
So
clown.
cool.
Like the smile is like a mile wide.
Yeah.
The tongue hanging out.
They're fun,
And
man.
the big soft eyes, the soulful eyes just staring at you.
Yeah.
You know, like, what are you doing with your life, John?
What are you gonna do with the rest of your life, John?
Yeah, exactly. I'm worried about you, Dad. Get it together.
Yeah, I got 2 huskies,
Oh,
and they keep you busy, man.
are they as mischievous as they say?
Oh, you bet, man. They're brilliant. They're brilliant dogs. I mean, so fun. So much personality. You know, Gypsy. She's always talking about something, man. No
yeah,
idea.
does
Yeah.
she?
Oh yeah, right. Like
Yeah.
intense eye contact, just right in your face. She's fun, man. And Siku, yeah, he's kind of like a wolf mix. But they're both runts, so they're smaller, which is kind of weird that it worked out that way. We didn't like seek after runts.
Mm-hmm.
He was a rescue. We got him in Brattleboro, Vermont. But yeah, they're amazing. Super fun. They're getting up there now.
Yeah.
Eight
That's the
and
tough
9
thing
years
about
old, you know.
dogs, man. This breed that we've got now is that, you know, they say 10 years is good.
Mhm.
So Pierce will be like 16. you
Yeah,
know?
because
if
he's
it
a big
goes
dog. Yeah,
Yeah.
They tend to have
problems. Yeah, but
hip stuff. And,
Yep.
Huskies live pretty long, right?
yeah, I mean, I hope mine live forever. You know,
Huskies are kind of built different. They're just ready to. They can run like, I think 100 miles.
yeah,
That's like it's like not too
yeah.
bad.
They need
for
like a
husky
5-minute nap, and they'll do
without
that
stopping.
distance again.
Yeah,
Just
wow.
5 minutes is
No
all I
kidding.
need.
Yeah.
They're
no, a
just
lot
like
of other breeds
different.
do that.
Now my dog can get out the door, down the stairs, go to the bathroom, get back inside, lay down.
Yeah. The classic big dog mentality.
Yeah, he's
Like
gonna
Z says, do less. Yeah, that's how those dogs roll. Do less. Yeah. Why don't we go on a hike? Why don't we just sit?
Yeah.
How about we eat something?
Yeah. Why don't we eat and nap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has these like 2 sunrise and sunset like daily explosive,
Yeah.
you know, just where it's amazing because they're very graceful
Yeah.
and they're kind of prancy,
Yeah.
you know. And so for a big heavy dog, it's amazing to watch. Like a couple of days ago, Pierce is on the floor with his toy and the dog comes in and leaps over him like a horse leaping over, you know, a gate.
Yeah. You're gonna have to put a saddle on that dog
Yeah.
for Pierce.
Well,
you know?
they're pulling the record pull for a greater Swissy is 4,000 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's what they used them for pulling carts and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. They were called the poor man's horse. And there's even historical
Wow.
pictures of them, like a husband and wife sitting in a cart behind 2 of them.
That's
And
amazing.
they've got them like on reins, you know?
It's one way to take your dog for a walk.
Yeah, totally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they like to. Yeah. They like to work. You know.
Yep. Yeah.
like to do stuff.
He's a handful. I mean, it's not a breed I'd recommend to a novice dog owner. It's
I say
a
the
lot of
same
work.
thing, man. I say the same thing.
With the Huskies.
You have to. Yeah, you can't go for the cute deal.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much more than that.
Right.
You know, they're very, very dangerously smart.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Like, if they had thumbs, it would be
doors would be open, locks would be picked, pantry would be empty.
Yep. Like,
yeah, totally. Yep.
I mean, they're just brilliant, man. You know, labs too. My buddy had a yellow lab that he was so close to. I swear this dog was like human. Like, I almost believed in reincarnation because he was just different. His name was Lou. And even when he barked, the way he barked, it was like he was talking to you. Like, he was saying something. Yeah, they're super smart dogs, man. Another friend of mine, he had one of those shock collar fence things.
Yeah.
You know, and he said, oh, man, he's been sitting out in the yard kind of funny, like for a couple of days now, like just at the very edge of the yard looking out. And he's like, I don't know what he's doing. And then one day, he wasn't in the yard. So he had to go find him. So this lab learned that if he sat down right on the cusp of that line where that electric fence is, whatever, that it would give a warning beep on the collar, meaning like you're getting close. He'd let it beep
until
and
he
beep.
Killed the battery.
He killed the battery. And then he just was like, now I can do whatever I want.
Wow.
When the warning stops, I'm free to go.
He drained the battery on the collar. I was like, dude.
Wow.
That's a good dog.